Hello and welcome to this week's Real Estate Report on the Finance News Network. I'm Lelda Smits. This week we continue our series looking at suburbs with the highest increase in median selling prices in 2010, with a focus on two suburbs in Victoria. In our interview we speak with Real Estate Institute of Australia President David Airy about the interest rate outlook for 2011. And in our tax tip we look at transferring real estate to family or friends. But first, let's catch up on the latest property news with Melissa Beaumont-Lee.
House prices are expected to remain flat over the next year, according to the NAB's Residential Property Survey. National house prices look set to ease 0.5% over the next 12 months, according to the poll of more than 200 property professionals. The NAB survey adds weights to the expectations that house prices may have plateaued, with the ANZ also predicting a flat outlook for 2011. Countering any likely fall in house prices is an increase in rental returns. Darwin is now the most expensive capital city in the country to rent a house, with a median weekly rent of $520. Canberra records a median rental rate of $490 a week, and Sydney at $450 a week.
This week we continue our series looking at suburbs with the highest increase in median selling prices in 2010, with a focus on two suburbs in Victoria. First, let's look at Research, a council area located 30 kilometres northeast of Melbourne CBD. With a population of 2,379 in the last census, Research was settled in the 1850s and originally filled with orchards, later becoming an area for prospectors during the gold rush era. Today it is an ecologically protected zone. Locals enjoy a semi-rural lifestyle with an abundance of space and native vegetation, such as eucalyptus and wattle trees. South of Main Road, large blocks of land house mostly unsewered homes beside dirt roads, while north of Main Road, modern two-storey houses have been erected. Research residents can also take advantage of the suburb's two schools and theatre, as well as sports facilities such as an indoor pool, tennis courts, parks and oval. Turning to the figures, and in 2010, houses in Research recorded the highest increase in median selling price in the nation, rising 49.7% in the 12-month period. 26 properties were sold in the year, recording a median price of $748,500. Over the past 10 years, the median selling price has risen 9.6%. Our next suburb is Garden Vale, located 12 kilometres south of Melbourne CBD and the smallest in metropolitan Melbourne by area. With a population of 987 in the last census, Garden Vale was originally privately owned land used as a polo ground before being subdivided in 1908. The largely residential suburb is bound in the west by the Nepean Highway stretching into the CBD, and in the south by North Road linking residents to Port Phillip Bay. Residents have train access from Garden Vale Railway Station, while the centrally positioned Garden Vale Road is the main spot for local shopping. Homes in Garden Vale mainly sit on medium-sized blocks with front and back gardens and tree-lined streets, and are a popular choice for families and retirees. Turning to the figures, and in 2010, houses in Garden Vale recorded Victoria's second highest increase in median selling price, rising 49.6% in the 12-month period. 14 properties were sold in the year, recording a median price of $1,252,500. Over the past 10 years, the median selling price has risen 13.6%. Turning to our interview, and this week we speak with Real Estate Institute of Australia President David Airy about the interest rate outlook for 2011 and the impact on first home property buyers.
Well, I won't predict interest rates ahead. I don't. I haven't in the past, and I'm not going to start now. Having said that, I believe, and the experts seem to suggest that there'll probably be 2 rises this year of at least 0.5%, which will certainly put enormous pressure on business and borrowers across Australia. Oh, there's no question about that. First home buyers have dropped from long-term averages of 20%, that is 1 in 5, to around 1 in 10 now. I saw a story the other day which was headed, where have all the first home buyers gone? And I think we're not going to see them back for a long while. Interest rate pressures and price pressures will mean that we'll probably be adding in future. The national statistic on FHBs will probably be 1 in 8 at best.
And now to the tax tip of the week from Depreciator, the tax depreciation schedule specialists. The Australian Tax Office says selling or gifting property is a capital gains tax event, and your liability for capital gains tax arises when a CGT event happens to your property. Usually your capital gain or loss results in the difference between what owning the property cost you and what you received when you sell your property. But if you receive nothing in exchange for your property, the ATO deems the market value of the property to be at its value at the time of the transaction. The ATO also deems you to have received the market value if your capital proceeds, what you received when you dispose of the property, are more or less than the market value of your property. Such transactions could include transferring houses, units, apartments, holiday houses, blocks of land and rental properties to family members or friends. So if you do choose to transfer real estate, make sure you obtain the market value first, ideally from a professional valuer. As always, do remember to consult with a tax accountant or tax professional before making any tax-related decisions. And that is the Real Estate Report for Monday, the 31st of January. Thanks for joining us. I'm Lelda Smits for the Finance News Network.